The universal library, bacteria, minute, simple, one-celled organisms belonging to the class Schizomycetes, often included for purposes. Bacteria are extremely small, but they occur in enormous numbers. Thus, 1 gm of fertile soil may contain 100 million bacteria, at which rate in the top 12 in of soil there would be about 90,000 million bacteria to the acre. The dimensions of bacterial cells are measured by a unit known as the micron. There are 1000 microns to a millimeter, and a typical bacterium is only 3 or 4 microns long. To see them, a powerful microscope is needed. Bacteria may be grouped according to their shape. A. Coccus is globular. A. Bacillus is rod-shaped. A. Vibrio is bent, while Spiridium is twisted. Some bacteria are mobile, transporting themselves by means of protoplasmic tails or flagella. Many bacteria are surrounded by gelatinous shells or capsules. In others, the capsule is represented by a thin slime layer covering the outside of the cell. For a long time, it remained uncertain whether bacteria possessed a nucleus like other living cells, but recent work using the electron microscope indicates that they do. This is supported by work on genetic recombination. The nucleus, however, is extremely small, and we do not yet know whether its organization is similar to normal nuclei. Many bacteria are able to form spores. These are resistant bodies produced within the bacterial cells, usually 1 per cell. The spores are often greater in diameter than the cells in which they are formed. When the spore is at the end of the cell, as in the tetanus bacillus, Clostridium tetani, a drumstick effect is produced. Bacteria reproduce by simple fission, the cell breaking in half transversely to form 2 new cells. This may take place as often as once every 20 minutes under favorable conditions, so that the increase in numbers of bacteria can be astronomical. Bacteria are well known as the germs that cause many diseases, such as typhoid and typhoid fevers, plague, cholera, anthrax, diphtheria, tuberculosis, tetanus, gangrene, and many others. Not all infections as smallpox, measles, poliomyelitis, typhus, chickenpox, mumps, and whooping cough are due to viruses. Soil bacteria. It must not be forgotten that many essential natural processes depend upon bacteria activity, most important of which are the decomposition processes, by which nitrogenous organic matter in the soil is first split up and then oxidized to nitrates, which are essential to plant life. The existence of life on Earth is dependent on this nitrogen cycle, for without it plant life and thence animal life would disappear. These bacteria are of 2 main groups: those that live and thrive without air, anaerobic, and those which must have air for proper development, aerobic. Together, they are responsible for the general fertility of most soils, although it is the latter group which is of greatest importance to agriculture. When organic matter, such as crop refuse and farm manure, is plowed into the land, the soil bacteria slowly oxidize it into substances readily available to the crop plants, and by the same means from the humus materials that gives fertile soil its dark color and makes farming productive. Climatic conditions affect the soil bacteria in many ways. Cold and wet or very dry conditions slow up or stop bacteria activity. Bacteria require a basic substance to take up the acids they produce. Otherwise, the soil condition becomes toxic and bacterial activity ceases. Bacteriological warfare. The use of disease-bearing bacteria as weapons of war has not yet been tried, but has been a possibility in the minds of governments and general staffs since 1914. The method now envisaged would be the dropping of bacteria cultures from the air in sufficient quantity to start large-scale epidemics. The allegation that this was attempted by United Nations forces during the Korean War 1953 was without foundation. Bacteriology, the study of bacteria and related organisms. The development of the science of bacteriology is particularly associated with the names of Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch. Nowadays, the word microbiology is increasingly used to cover both bacteriology in its narrower sense and the study of microorganisms such as yeasts, molds, protozoa, and microscopic algae. Bacteriophage, filterable bacteriolytic agent thought to be produced by a virus, a disease of bacteria, and existing in a number of different forms, each specific for a particular bacterium. The bacteriophages behave similarly to viruses, except that they attack bacteria instead of animals or higher plants. They are found in all the cultures of bacteria and in various places where bacteria are abundant, e.g. in sewage. Studies with the electron microscope have shown that bacteriophages consist of ultramicroscopic particles, each with an enlarged head and a short tail. They have been observed attacking bacterial cells, causing complete lysis of the cells and the subsequent liberation of more bacteriophage particles. It is evident that when in the host cell, they are capable of reproduction or of stimulating the host cell to produce more of them. Bacteriophages are usually known by the bacteria they infect, and once one bacteriophage is strictly specific for a particular species of bacterium, they are being used for the identification and typing of bacteria. Bactria, ancient country of Asia, east of Persia, of whose empire it forms a part. It was conquered by Alexander the Great 328 BC. Later, as an independent kingdom, it achieved great prosperity in the 3rd and the 2nd centuries BC. Bactria gained an important position as a trading nation, largely owing to its position on the routes from India and the West.